Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan, and I know the Elite 8 is going to be on very soon, but this is a different type of video because I know a lot of people right now are going to be taking the ACT, and I want, as someone who's taken the ACT very recently, kind of just give you an idea of what you're getting yourself into by taking it. It's not bad. First of all, I'll say it's not too bad. A lot of the science stuff, let's just say that, a lot of the science stuff, at least for what I took, it's not really what you're currently being taught. Like if you're in chemistry, you might have some physics. My group, we've had an ingenuity the entire year, which is pretty much an online course. Because we've had no real teacher. I know, it sounds great. But we haven't really learned anything about that. So they kind of just threw out stuff that you, like little stuff you might learn in biology, little stuff you might learn in like environmental science. Some of the other classes like that. But most of all, it's just graphs and charts. And be able to read. All right, let me see if I can find one. Just being able to read basic problems and all that, word problems. It's not too bad. It's just one of those, you got to take your time very well. You get about a minute per question. So, like, here's an example. Okay, this is actually perfect for passage 4. Here is a problem that you would get. The octane rating of a fuel is a measure of how smoothly it burns in the internal combustion engine. Fuels with a lower octane rating NOx explode when burned, which lowers efficiency and potentially causes damage to the engine. Heptane NOx frequently when burned and is given an octane rating of 0, while isooctane burns very smoothly with little to no knocking and it is given a rating of 100. Different mixtures of heptane and isotane are combined in order to obtain several mixtures of fuels which octane rating between 0 and 100. The results are listed below in Table 1. I might not be able to show it well, but this is a table that you were kind of get. You don't really need to read the problems or read the numbers, but this is kind of right here. This is kind of a table you'd probably get. A sample of each of the fuel mixtures listed in Table 1 was burned in an engine at a speed of 500 revolutions per minute, RPM. That's the shortened term of it, RPM. So then octane rating could be assigned to the listed fuels by measuring the number of NOx per minute. And they have a bunch of these type of experiments that go along with it. So you have this like a little chart here, and you have another, not really a chart, this is more of a chart, this is more of like a graph type of thing. And then you have questions based on it. Like based on Table 1, if 3 ml of heptane are mixed with 7 ml of isoctane, the octane rating of the mixture at 500 RPM would be which of the following? You're going to get a lot of problems like that. Are they fun? No, not a bit. Not a bit. But that's an idea of a problem you're going to get from science, and there's a lot of that, and you got to read that within a minute. But if you really study the chart, a lot of the questions afterwards will follow it. Like the next 6 questions afterwards are all multiple choice, all follow that question. So it's good to read those charts and the words very well, so you can kind of just, it might take 3 minutes for this, and let's say you have 60 seconds, we have 60 minutes, 60 questions hypothetically, and you read 3 minutes for this. But because you read 3 minutes, 4 minutes of this very well, you can spend 2 minutes on the questions. You average at around 6 questions in 6 minutes, based off some of the averages right there. But you actually were able to get all the information that you needed. Do that. Do that. Math, you have the calculator. Big help with the calculator. That's like 45 minutes, 60 questions, something like that. Best thing to do, try to keep a consistent pace. Don't spend 2 minutes on one problem, then 10 seconds on the other, unless if you just absolutely know the answer. If you know the answer, go with it and keep it going. You want to spend up maybe the most a minute, at the very most 2 minutes on a problem, if you especially need to work that out. But if it's a calculator, try to get your best answer as soon as you can. It's pretty simple. Let me try to find a math one real quick. Okay. A function fx is defined as fx equals 7x to the power of 2. What is f, parentheses, -2, yeah, parentheses. And then you have the questions, all of that. You can kind of figure that out on your own in a way. But you get the multiple choice, try to eliminate some questions, try to eliminate some of the answers, and then just go from there. And just try your best. Is it going to be perfect all the time? No, but you ain't perfect, so don't expect as much as, don't expect perfection. English, a lot of reading. Obviously, there's a reading section and an English section, specifically English section. English section, I almost fell asleep, to be honest. Was I was not tired, but it was very boring having to read that stuff. It was, but we got it done. We got it done. I think I did a decent job at it, if not good. So that's a positive video to go with. But you have a lot of these are just kind of, here's a text, here's a part of it. Okay, now dissect that part of the text, and then here's a word. Which word would mesh with this better? What sentence should this be instead? Like, okay, here's a question. The writer is considering adding the following phrase to the end of this paragraph. The mythology around the Vaitarana River, and that's my best way of trying to say it, in Hindu culture is the most interesting because it is not only the sinners who have to travel the river to get to the afterlife. Would this addition be an appropriate conclusion to the passage as a whole? You have stuff like that. Stuff like that it's not fun to have to answer, but if you honestly read the text, or you just read the last 3 paragraphs, you can get a good idea of what that would be. And then you have 200 say yes, 200 say no. And if you know the answer, a yes or no, you have a 50-50 shot. And a lot of explanations are very different. Like, I'll give the explanations for no. No, because Greek culture also requires the righteous to cross the river Styx. And the other no is no because it is too specific to one of the 3 cultures to be a conclusion to the entire passage. 2 very different explanations for the same answer. So if you have an idea, come up with your own idea of what the answer would be, and your own explanation, and then try to compare. And then for reading on its own, that's a lot of text, but a lot of the questions do follow up with it, and it's very obvious what the answers are if you actually read it. I know some of them that I try to read thoroughly. Sometimes I point out where it is in the passage. So like paragraph 3, it mentions like Timmy trying to fight Tom, and then Tom whoops the crap out of him. It's going to mention that Tommy nailed him with a left, hit him in a right, and an uppercut. It will mention paragraph 3, Tommy beats the crap out of him. What words should be used for what Tommy did? And stuff like that, or just a summary of what summarizes paragraph 3 the best. Stuff like that. That's kind of most of that, at least. I would love to find a good question for the reading section. Let me try to find a good. Okay. Here's a basic idea of one. It's a very short question, but the passage, this is number 35 on this sheet, on this thing. If you don't know what this is, it's boot camp for the ACT. Better scores in 1 day. This is what it would look like. If you get an idea of this, there we go. But in the reading section, question 35 says, the passage notes that H acid, fill in the definition. It's in there. You know what you're looking for. Try to find those key words. But also let me try to say it. The word undersuitable, undersuitable, in line 58, most nearly means mildly distracting, rather unfortunate, aggravating, efficiency reducing. Stuff like that. Point out the line to look at, try to find the sentence that matches it the best. And then the word attack in 97 most nearly means to damage, insult, criticize, fight. I think that's kind of funny. But stuff like that. You get a lot of those in the reading section of it. You don't have a lot of time on this. I know that the reading section is like 75 questions in 45 minutes. I think that's stupid. Why? You want us to analyze stuff, but you want us to read through it, but you don't give us enough time to? Really? Why? And the one thing I would like about the ACT is that if they had a social studies section, I think social studies is a very important part of curriculum, and that we're taught to, and we need to take a class of. So if it's required, you should have it on the test, but it's not. I don't understand that. Because I think in history, it's very important to understand that. And a lot of it's just repeated stuff from 5th grade. So it's not like we're not going to know this. World War II questions, World War I questions, Civil War, civil rights, all that stuff. Vietnam, American Revolution, any of those type of wars, any of that type of history, we will have a good idea. Or maybe recent history. Why not just teach recent history, the ones that actually currently affect us, and stuff of that nature. So yeah, that's what I have to say about this. Hopefully you do good on the ACT. It's coming up. I know a lot of people, their scores are a lot. You ask a lot of people what your score, what you want your score to be. Some people say a 28. Some people say a 21. Some will say I just want double digits. Some people want a 30 at bare minimum. All of you, if it if getting that score helps you to achieve the career goal that you want, go for it. Do that to the best of your ability. Just hopefully benefits you the best. And hope you have a very good test. I don't know my test scores yet, but that's what they taught us how to do. And yeah, if you're someone who's trying to prepare for the ACT in later years or coming up very soon, I suggest to take this advice. Read through this at least once. It includes official ACT practice questions. So for me, again, designed to help students meet ACT college readiness standards, features the most frequently tested topics, and then reduce reduce test taking anxiety and increase accuracy. You can clearly tell I did a very good job on the reading part of my ACT. So yeah, this is the 4th edition. Check it out. I think it's my most recent one. We spent a 7-hour period going over this. So yeah, I hope you have a good job with ACT. That's just some tips from me. Hope you have a great day. Stay safe, y'all, and God bless y'all.